1 minute remaining in this practice, 1 minute. Is over. Please deliver your last stone draw.
Hello and welcome to semifinal play at the 2013 World Mixed Doubles Championship here at the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton, New Brunswick. I'm Dean Gemmel and I'm joined once again by Swedish Sarah Carlson.
Hello Dean, it's lovely to be back.
Glad to have you here. Our feature matchup today, the semifinal between the Czech Republic and Hungary. There you see a look at the final stages of the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship. The other semifinal, Norway versus Sweden. The winner of each of these semifinals goes directly to the bronze medal, to the gold medal game. That would be an unlikely scenario to go to the bronze if you won. The losers will play for the bronze this evening. The lineup for the Czech Republic: Tomáš Paul is the male player. Zuzana Hajkova is the female player.
And for Hungary, we have Zsolt Kis as the male player, and female player is Dorottya Palanja. Their coach is Zoltán Palanja.
Carry Center for the 2013 World Curling Federation World Mixed
Stone Colors and Hammer, Czech Republic will be playing the red stones. Hungary won the last stone draw, and they will have Hammer playing the yellow stones.
the Czech Republic. Curling
Teams are just being introduced right now, so we're going to get a good look at them here.
Czech Republic played awfully well. They had to play the extra game to get into the quarterfinals. They won that against Russia and soundly defeated New Zealand last night. Kish and Palanchka defeated defending bronze medalist Austria last evening.
Yeah, both of these teams have just kind of had a rocket ride. They've just been getting better and better through the week, I believe. So it'll be really fun to see what they bring here in the semi-final today.
We talked to Thomas Powell earlier, and this is the furthest a Czech male player has gone in any world championship, the semifinals. His teammate, Susanna Hajkova, was the runner-up at the 2012 World Junior Championships, where they lost in an extra end to Scotland. So she's gone further in a world championship. For the Hungarians in 2009, Hungary was the runner-up in the world mixed doubles.
Yeah, with a different team, so certainly a very good result so far for this young duo. But I believe they will be looking for gold rather than silver or bronze this year. We're going to see them have some practice slides, and then the game will be on its way. Mixed doubles a bit different from traditional curling. As you've probably figured out, you have two players rather than four, one male and one female. And 6 stones in every end. One for each team will be pre-positioned. The team with hammer starts off with a stone just back of the button. Team without hammer has a center guard. Same sheet of ice as regular curling, and both team members can sweep. We're going to see the playing order here. Susanna Hajkova will start. She will also throw the 5th stone. That means Thomas Powell will play the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And they can switch in between the ends, but I don't think any of these teams do that, do they?
No, but Hungary does use the more unusual lineup of the male player throwing the 1st and 5th stone. We saw that with Scotland, Bruce Mowat and Gina Aiken. But most of the teams go with the lineup that the Czech Republic will stick with. The female player throwing the 1st and 5th stones, and the male player throwing 2, 3, and 4. The other team the team that does change the order a bit is Norway. They're playing in the other semifinal.
So first stone for Hungary, Zsolt Kish. He would like to get to the inside of the red, just played by Susanna Hajkova to set up some really good angles. Takeouts in mixed doubles, they are allowed in with the 4th stone. Before that, you're not even allowed to hit your own, which makes for aggressive play. We normally see a lot of stones hanging around the forefoot, and that is a really good placed stone.
Great angle by Kish there to get on the inside. Kish, as you might have guessed by his height, is a former basketball player. Started curling when he had a basketball injury and couldn't play basketball for a while.
We're certainly glad to have him on the curling scene instead.
He's also an economist back in Hungary.
And Thomas Powell, he's a student in Prague, who also enjoys a whole bunch of other sports.
Some great shot making to start us off here. Thomas Powell getting the right angle on that stone as well.
And we are expecting a lot of high fives from the Czech Republic. We're going to see if Hungary can keep up with that.
See if they'll match their high five output. Both teams, I think, are well matched on the ice. I don't know about the high five department, but we'll see how that unfolds.
It is Dorocha Palancha. She's looking to tap this around a bit, I believe.
She would like to create some separation. Hungary does have last stone here, and that's a That's a very good shot too.
He also angles her shooter up really nicely onto the red.
It's important when you have last stone to try to free up those stones in the 4 foot around the button area as soon as you can. Some teams are quick to use the 4th stone to hit something.
I think when teams play too many freezes and guards, we often see just a score of 1 because that center area just gets too clogged up with stones that there's no room to score multiple. But with the rules and the tactics of the game, you can definitely make sure that you score. We've seen 3, 4s, 5s, and 6.
Yes, it seems if you can open up the scoring area, you certainly have a better opportunity to score those multiple point ends. Sometimes with multiple freezes, it just becomes impossible to squeeze another counter in there. So Thomas Poole working hard on this one.
He's definitely one of the players that sweep the most, and with an unfortunate result.
Just rubbed on that high yellow, very close to getting by.
Just high-fiving the effort right there.
Well, there's no shortage of effort. Both these teams will chase after their own stones quite a bit, and I think it certainly makes a difference. The more sweeping you can get in, just as in regular curling, sweeping certainly makes a difference. The key seems to be making sure you finish your delivery before you commit to sweeping.
Yeah, we have seen players just being in a big hurry to sweep, and it seems to have an effect on how you actually throw. So I think the teams that has moved along are the teams that make sure that they throw their stone nice before they get up to sweep. We'll just guard this side, and Czech Republic could maybe tap on the other side now with that. They got a little chisel on the yellow stone earlier, so the angles are a little bit better for Czech Republic now.
Yeah, it seems they can tap and probably at least a second shot. I don't know how far the Hungarian stone almost fully in the button will move. If they could spring the place stone, that's the one with the black X under the handle. You can see on the screen here. That's the stone that was placed to start the end. They'd like to spring that a little bit out the back.
I think that this might be backline hack weight. We normally see a lot of ice on Thomas Powell's stones.
Yeah, especially his intern. He seems to maybe throw that a little softer, but we'll see what this looks like. They certainly have been icing each other really well. They know each other well, and they know their tendencies when they play.
They've been a team and a couple for 4 years. So if they practice together for all of that time, they should know each other pretty well. Won't make it for second shot, but that's in a nice position for them. I'm wondering if Hungary's maybe just going to guard the other side here and be happy with a deuce.
Yeah, content with their 2. They will look at it and I think elect to play the guard because it's difficult to imagine how more than 2 emerges from this situation.
They could score their 3 if they could catch the lid with the intern side.
Yeah, if they can take away the top here with the guard, but not put it so far over that they make their own draw difficult, might be a good play. At least give themselves a chance with that last draw. If they could hook one in and catch enough of the button, certainly there. Not a shot you'd want to have to make if with everything on the line, but certainly there for 3 if that's available to them on their last.
But the guard will come first from Palancha.
They have a 2-sheet facility in Budapest, their home club.
Well, I think mission accomplished.
I think they've taken away the top, unless Unless Susanna Haikova thinks she can get just enough of that red, but I don't think so. But they're looking at it. She can see a tiny sliver. I don't think it'll be enough to...
Could they play the draw? I don't think that'll make them second shot, but it will take away the possible score of 3.
Taking a lot of ice. Out right at the edge. So maybe they are playing that draw. Susanna's out turn as a left-hander. And that's still a lot of ice.
It sure looks like plenty. We've seen some really good ice conditions this week. Jamie Barassa and his team has been doing a very good job. And ice seems keen with plenty of curl. Or are they just guarding the draw as well?
I think their ambition there was just to make the draw more difficult. Considering how much ice they took, that isn't. We talk a lot about not knowing the inside-out path, but it certainly seems like the inside-out path would have been maybe a better way to throw that guard. Jolt is trying to decide, Jolt Kish trying to decide if he can get one in there. I think he may as well try it.
And no harm in trying. I can't really see anything bad happen.
Itt pont el kell jönni, és itt megállni. És gyakorlatilag a fele benn van.
Csak hatos dob, hogy azt lássa pörni hetesbe. Jó? Tehát ne toljuk meg semmiképpen.
Certainly is available if he puts it on the tee line and gets by the yellow that's just biting the button. I believe the red guard that Susanna Haikova just placed really didn't change this shot. So Hungary has 2 secured. They're trying to draw for a 3rd point. Not a shot you expect to make a whole lot. The hooking draw to the edge of the button.
Of backing, perhaps.
I'm not sure if they can. Well, it might be close if they come to the back. They were looking at it.
Last one of the first end. They are scoring 2 for sure. And this is really short, the draw for 3. So they will just pick up a deuce. Not a bad result in the first game.
Or the first end?
Yes. Of course.
The first game of the first game in the semifinals. Perhaps. No. It's something first. It's the first end, Sarah. We could update the other semifinal quickly.
Yes, Sweden stole one. Or they took one. Playing Norway, I think they just threw their final stone away, actually. Scored 1, Norway with hammer in the second end. And here you see the score on our sheet. Hungary up to an early lead, 2-0.
Some discussion with the stones or the sensor handles there. I did notice before the game that Hungary seemed to be the only team that took stones. They had choice of stones, and they took stones from other sheets. The Czech Republic is playing with the sheet A red rocks. Might say as much about the quality of the stones as anything else, that people are happy with the rocks. Haven't heard any discussion about the rocks giving people problems. So Jolt Kish will try to make the freeze. Thomas Poole has a lot of friends in the arena.
He is always waving away to the fans. It is good. They have been the team, I think, that seems to really be enjoying this the most.
I think that's a fair assessment. They have they got into the quarterfinals through the qualifier game, and they actually said they thought that qualifier game helped them in the first game of the quarterfinals, being on the ice earlier in the day, which you can certainly see in mixed doubles. I mean, they played 2 games yesterday. Mixed doubles games are shorter, even if they are a little more physically demanding at times.
This time it's you're going to see the importance of that first stone. Czech Republic has a really early chance to create some pressure on Hungary. And Hungary will not be able to play a hit with the coming stone. So getting the first one right is really important. Otherwise, you won't really be able to get out of the situation with anything else than a good freeze or tap.
Might want to stay on that one to come off the yellow. Well, they did anyways. Still leaves a freeze opportunity for Hungary. And Dorotea Planchka. Just chopping and rolling over, but leaving enough room to freeze in there. I think they have plenty of room here, and unfortunately it looks like a fair amount of weight as it goes by in front of us here, Sarah.
Palancha using the same technique as we have seen a couple of other players do, twirling the broom to force the stone to curl. Some people talk to their stones, some people
shout at them. We've seen the twirl, people switching the side they sweep on, much like in traditional curling when sweepers switch with only one sweeper. Players have been switching, whether they're trying to resist or promote curl. So the Czech Republic with a chance to lock one on here and take away the Hungarian opportunity to close down the rings. There's our first call of awesome, but we know what that means now, don't we, Sarah?
It means 8, but I think we should just stick with awesome.
Yeah, but I don't think 8 is awesome here for Thomas Pohl. But it's coming down. Not a lot of rotation on this, so I think it's going to dive in.
I think it almost picked. It just totally lost its handle, but for an awesome result.
Yes.
Thomas Pohl just knows his throws.
Nice set of angles there. The Hungarians are a little fortunate that that yellow of theirs didn't end up further to the left and right behind the pile of red. So at least that they won't have a jam there. Playing this with quiet weight, I think, hoping to...
Well, if they can get to nose and just tap the reds back, they will be sitting in a pretty good position, I believe.
That's correct, and the red that they hit on the nose should spill over and make it more difficult to remove their shooter.
Really need to get to nose here.
Don't want to bounce off like that. Now Hungary is in a good position to score.
Czech Republic?
Big Czech Republic. I'm sorry, yes. Hungary, as you can see by Zsolt Kish, wiping his brow, is not in the good position. There's our Twitter hashtag. If you're on Twitter and you want to send questions or comments or make observations about this, hashtag WMDCC, World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2013.
Czech Republic coming down the other side, trying to lock another one on here and preventing Hungary from being able to freeze with the in-turn.
Like to get just a little more out of that.
Same shot available. So Dorotea Palancha just needs a bit more curl.
Not entirely sure why they played that with the in-turn. Seems as though they would, if that stone had been high with the out-turn, it left in that spot. And we always say that top 8 is a pretty good spot in mixed doubles, but if it had been thrown with the out-turn, they would be, I think, a far more difficult shot here. Dorotea Palanchka would be trying to freeze to half a rock.
This one looking closer. Really working this to get it by. Oh, and she
Looks as
looks like
though
she's
it's
going to
gonna be-
overcurl. She maybe brought the weight down a bit as well.
Nedostaneme se už.
And
Máme 3.
that's trouble all day.
Guard.
Czech Republic has an opportunity to really score big, I think. They're considering a guard. Let's see if we can.
Jenom blbě rozťuknu. Má roll od něj dovnitř.
What would happen if they nose hit the yellow on the side?
I think they could get to it with the out turn.
Možná spíš jenom sem. Bude hrát pak nějaký run.
In life
To možná bylo lepší
4 or
zkusit tady.
5.
By nám nemělo tohle. Budeme zase čekat
Not
dlouho,
sure.
co?
I think that. Not sure if the back yellow is closer than the high yellow
To mohl hrát můj... Hrál to z
or the
druhé
high
strany.
red. I mean.
Já vím, ale my se potřebujeme dostat za ten pravej, teda tenhle.
Thomas Powell seems to quite committed to this play, though. Of course, Jolt Kish will not have much of a shot here, but he seems as though they're guarding this hole, and Kish could play the intern down to make it difficult to score more than 2, perhaps.
Si. 2 plus.
Oh, I think they are playing the intern come around.
Jenom 2. Můžu. Já můžu.
Or not. My first instincts were correct.
No, it is just going to be a guard. And it looks like he's going to cover the entire hole. No gap there.
Certainly an effective guard. I think Kish's play will be the intern. Try to sit on the corner of the shot stone, or even if he can just touch the button. I think he'd be happy even if he's third shot, just to make it difficult for the Czech Republic to score 3. We seem to have contingents from all nations in here tonight, or this afternoon.
And semifinals of the seniors going on.
Yeah, they happened just before this game. Seniors have moved over to this arena now for their playoffs. Jolt Kish with a tall order here, trying to draw into at least third shot and put it in a place where it's difficult for the Czech Republic to score 3. His line is good.
Line
His
is
line
looking
is
really
very
good.
good.
Need to make it for third.
Nice shot.
It is for third shot.
Máme 2.
And that,
Určitě.
well, you may not think that drawing for third shot on your last is a terrific outcome at times.
No, but when you're 2 up and it leaves a tricky shot for 3.
Si tenhle roll.
When you're 2 up and you're playing mixed doubles,
Můžeme to hrát klidně backlineou.
it's a great shot.
Není místo.
Just there, just enough.
So by playing back line
Tady to točí
on
jako ďábel, jakmile pojedeme tohle kolem, tak si ťukne dobře.
the yellow, they're hoping to get a little roll in to sit,
Řekni, kolik
make
vidíš
the
na to,
top
jako
the
dává.
entire forefoot.
Takže... Takhle.
Difficult. They have to get tight to the guard
Třeba.
to roll enough to outcount third shot that Jolt Kish just drew into the forefoot.
Yeah, tricky, but it looks like it's there, and just like the last draw in the first end, why not have a go at this?
Yep.
Absolutely, no risk. Sounds like this might be tight. Susanna Haikova's intern.
Ještě kus, play! Kousík, hezký kámen.
We'll be on the guard, so Czech Republic will just tie the game up, score a deuce in the second end to make it a 2-2 game.
Hezký shot. A jsme z toho odseděli na málo ledu. A když bych tam dojel, abych to jak sám zboural. Dobrý, 2-2.
So teammates discuss the end. What do you think they said?
I think Hungary said that, well, it's tight and we have hammer, good save. And Czech Republic said, good end, we had the pressure on, let's keep on applying it.
Good deuce is what I'm sure they noted.
Do you have anything to add to that conversation between the teams?
That's what I think they said, and that there was much that was awesome.
Awesome.
Although I think now that we know that awesome means 8 on the draw, they use the 10-point system as well. Susanna Haikova, she's 20 years old, started curling in 2003.
So that would be half of her life curling.
Excellent math, Sarah.
Sometimes I can do numbers as well. It won't happen very often.
Far better than my own math. This looks like it's going to over curl.
Certainly a good tolerance for weight. It's very usable. Looks like it's easier for Hungary to maybe come with the intern here, but Zsoltkes is going to follow with the outturn.
Does seem as though they could move it back and sit in the top 8. Leaving it in the back would be good with 2 counters in front of it, but they're going to play the outturn.
Zsoltkes, 25 years old, from Budapest. He curls with Georgi Nagy, who scored the silver in this event in 2009. Did beat him, though, to qualify for this event.
He did. So we would have liked to get a little more to the inside with that, but
and now looking at that redstone just played by Haikova, it certainly could come to good use for them.
Thomas Powell, he's 25 years old. He started curling in 2004.
So exactly the same as Zsoltkes.
There you go. So that's an 8. We know that's an 8. So that's a little more than T. Back 4. Looks like it might be a little more than awesome. Might be more like back, well, close to back 8, I guess. More than back 4, though. So that's the weight system of 1 through 10. A lot of teams here are using that.
And I'd like to see Hungary actually make a play on the red on the left-hand side, like Zsoltkes is indicating.
Any roll to the inside, they don't have to roll. You could roll behind the guard. They could roll in corner freeze on the red stone that the Czech Republic just placed on the left side of the forefoot.
And they don't have to play a lot of weight, just back 8, just tap it behind the T-line basically is good if they can get to inside.
And it looks like they're not playing a lot of weight.
So Dorotsza Palancia, she's actually 17.
And she started curling in 2007. One of the youngest players in the field.
And that won't stop her from making this a very good shot, though.
And there it is. Any roll that way works nicely. The Czech is going to... This is one thing they've been good at doing, is sensing earlier perhaps than some other teams when they are in trouble. And I think they'll look to move some yellows out here.
It looks like one will probably catch on the red on the side, but that might not be the end of the world. They just need to get them moving.
Yeah, they're not going to throw it with really big weight. And I think with any weight, I don't think you can make a double actually. So I think the high yellow will catch on the red, but you can certainly get rid of one stone from the rings.
Move one back and one to the side. Leave your shooter on the nose.
Yeah, it's important to keep your shooter in the top, just in front of the forefoot, or maybe just in the forefoot. Saving the shooter is more important than how many rocks you move of the yellow stones. This is a little high side, though. And Tomas Powell knows it's not the greatest result.
Még ez megfogja.
Oké.
Dóri, ez csak egy hack.
Maximum, nem, biztos nem.
Még a 10-es is jobban tetszik, mert igazából emellett el kell jönni.
Oké,
Az is már egy picit hozzáér.
oké.
Sounds like hack.
Dóri! Még
Similar shot to the one she just had. So that's always a comfortable feeling.
mi bejövünk ide.
Zsoltkesh is making sure that she knows all the different ways that this could become a good outcome.
He did run through a number of different scenarios there, didn't he?
Hanging a little bit wide, but we have seen them come down here.
Needs to finish.
Will finish. They are still sitting 3.
Touched the back yellow, but actually moved it to not a bad spot. Almost directly behind the yellows in the top of the forefoot. Again, the Czech Republic will look at a double. Something to start to cut down the Hungarians down.
I think we might be looking at Tomas Powell throwing a bit more weight.
I think more weight would be advised here. I think if he can't afford to catch that red at all. If he crosses it at all, I think it jams directly onto the yellow at the back forefoot. So he's got to hit maybe a quarter of a rock, half a rock. It's up quickly to sweep it. He does a nice job of finishing his delivery and getting in position to sweep quickly.
Oh.
What he didn't do a nice job of there was hitting half of that yellow stone. He's not going to be happy with that result. So early on, the Czech Republic not quite as sharp, despite the fact it's 2-2, not quite as sharp as we've seen them in their last 2 games.
No, it's interesting to see the team with hammer in both ends. Just they're really able to apply pressure. And I don't think we've seen that perfect freeze from the first player yet either, so that might be the reason.
That might be. Kish threw a good one in the first end, but
I believe he overcurled.
yeah, it wasn't ideal, you're right.
So team with hammer, chance of scoring big one more time. Dorocha Palancha makes her way down to throw her final stone. Then Zsoltkesh will have one more.
So they can bring another one in here. It's going to be hard for Susanna Haikova to remove more than one.
She might be left with playing a freeze that you really would not
I'll make sure
want
they
to
get
do.
by that guard. Oh, that's a... So the Czech Republic, though, has a decision to make. They can play this hit, which I think is what a smart call. They could really go hard for the out this end and try to come down to that back one. Even
Hit and roll off their own
catch
is
a bit of run. Yeah.
a possibility.
I think they can hit this and probably catch the yellow, push it out open, but that won't matter because this is their last shot of the end. But maybe get a bit of coverage. Lancia or
Yep.
Haikova.
Whoa. 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 Whoa, je comme ça.
Not a bad result. I believe they're even sitting shot stone. So, question is if Palanja can hit this and actually score 3.
Or Kish will throw this one.
Yes, of course.
Throws us off a little bit because one team has the female player throwing 1 and 5, and the other team has the male player throwing 1 and 5. I think if he gets a little inside roll, he has a chance. But
Either way, if he gets rid of it, he'll score a deuce.
Vagy attól errébb.
Lepší se můj předchozí. Ukázka z Braslaváce. Nevím, myslím, že dobrý. Z něj to nebylo pomalejší, ale bylo.
don't think he's wide. Well, better line perhaps than they initially thought.
Yeah, the guard is not an option here.
Tight to it. Really nice line. Just by the guard. Can they roll in enough to get 3? Oh.
And it'll actually roll up a bit after hitting the yellow.
I think that was the problem all along. 2 for sure.
And they're going to have a look. Can also tell you that Norway scored 3 on Sweden in the second end to have a 3-1 lead. Sweden has a draw for 2 to tie the game over there.
Thomas Powell believes it's 3 yellow, but they're going to measure it nonetheless.
No point in giving points away.
Looks like yellow from our vantage point, but we've been wrong as often as we've been right with these.
Sorry? That's two yellow already.
So at least 2 yellow. We're going to see what the umpires say.
I think it turned when Tomas Powell essentially flashed that hit his nose to zone, and that really created the possibility for this 3. Seen a lot of measures, of course, during mixed doubles with so much play clustered in the forefoot and around the button. Measuring device comes into play quite a bit. Might have worn this one out this week.
Oh, so yellow is closer by far. Hungary, they'll pick up a 3 in the third end to take a 5-2 lead.
So a lot of scoring so far early, 2s and now a 3. Trading deuces, and now Hungary takes a 3 to go up 5-2 after 3 ends. They'll head to the 4th end with a 3-point lead. Jolt Kish, after making that shot for 3, a nice shot, had to get the inside roll and then had to hope that he didn't spin up too far. Executed well, and then the hope paid off.
Making sure everything is nice and clean to avoid pickups.
Okay.
And if Hungary could avoid a big score here, maybe just try and leave Czech Republic with a chance of scoring 1. It'll be looking very good for them. Sweden did score 2 in the third end, so score over there is now 3-3. Norway has hammer in the 4th.
See if Kish can lock one on here. His line is good. He's going to move it just a bit, but that's a good result.
Yeah, moving is okay if you make it to nose. So
exactly.
Good line call by Palanja.
That was a good line call to hold it and make sure they stayed on nose instead of over curling. Over curling, even with the right weight on that shot, doesn't work very well.
No, it just means that your opponents can lock one on there in an angle that means that your stones are going to fly out of there. Haikova following.
As we step on each other a little bit there.
It'll never happen again, Dean.
Huh.
Well, it probably will.
Exactly, I think it probably will.
She's going to come back with a nice one.
Maintains the high angle, does lock that other yellow right on the red stone that was placed to begin the end, but still a lot of stones to play. We've seen Thomas Powell move to hitting early and try to rearrange houses. We'll see if they do that following the shot by Palanchka.
I think he said, we're shot stone, do you want to play the guard?
That's your Hungarian improving. I'm sure it's already far better
Mostly
than mine.
Based on body language, which seems to be universal in curling. Guarding this, well, they are sitting shot stone, they know that it's Czech Republic that's going to need to make some sort of move.
So the guard works. Isn't a place where Czech Republic could consider doubling off the guards.
Well, I guess if they double off the guards, Hungary can just blast what's in the house and accomplish leaving Czech Republic scoring one.
We'll see if they do that. A lot of teams without guards will then try to guard the single shot stone. And we've seen that be difficult. It's difficult on this ice and with these aggressive rocks that curl aggressively and only one sweeper to manage the stone. It can be difficult to guard a single rock. So I like this play. I like the play to open it up and perhaps for the Czech Republic give themselves a chance to go to work on the rocks and the rings. Well, now I don't understand at all. That doesn't look like an 8 to me, and it was also awesome, wasn't it?
Yes.
Sarah,
well, 8 seconds hog to hog would be.
There we go. Perhaps
peel weight.
That's it. If anybody watching the Czech Republic can fill us in, that would be terrific.
So he will only get one guard, which means Hungary is going to guard again, this time with the outturn.
Yeah, he didn't get the double peel. Wasn't an easy double peel. In case you're wondering about the man lurking behind the scoreboard, that's World Curling Federation photographer Richard Gray.
Doing a really good job of covering the World Mixed Doubles and the seniors this week.
Getting some great photos.
I think these are numbers too.
All right.
And I'm not sure which numbers, but somewhere in a guard position, maybe 1, 2.
So
might make the double a bit easier.
Yes, they're going to look at the double peel and might make it easier. They would have liked to have made it on the last one, of course, because now they have 3 stones to play, the Czech Republic. Hungary has 2. But so I believe they're playing the double peel. Sometimes we've seen them run this in too, but
so this will be an 8-second peel as well. Might also be awesome.
oh, needed to hit that a little bit more. He was right in position to sweep it, and they didn't. And it seems that if they held it out, he would get the double peel.
So I think maybe they were probably looking at running it down.
Yeah, I think they were hoping to run it into the pile.
They would have been better off making the double peel than doing that, though, because Hungary's going to guard this again. My guess is harem means 3.
That's as good a guess as I would have. Almost over curled, but I think it works well enough.
Yeah, those cards are now overlapped, so Czech Republic can't really run them down.
They're looking at running their own red in on the angle here. They could either pick off their own on the top, but I think what they'd really like to do is get some action on that back yellow. They'd have to just get by their red to hit it. Because I think picking off their top red, they won't get to the yellow stone.
Oh, and I see red lights flashing.
Yes, you do. Thomas Powell will take that one away.
So take it away, and we'll see if they're going to want it checked by the umpires.
Jó.
Nem. De nem innen kár. Így. De.
Looked like it was close to a violation.
Ide kéne, pont amiatt, hogy védjük.
Or maybe a double touch.
Hogline.
Ja, igazad van.
Hogline, foglalak.
Ez a jég.
So the Czech Republic now facing a difficult task just to score one. They're already down 5-2.
I'm not sure they're going to be able to score one if...
I don't see a shot right now for them to score one. I think the only way they could score one was if Zsolt Kish was to leave them something high and wide that they could come in off of, and I doubt that's going to happen here. But the only thing they may be left with is he's going to take away the in-turn draw, which was a difficult shot anyways, leaving them with only the out turn. Not a good scenario for the Czech Republic. The staggered guards in front, their own on the wrong side to run in.
Tudom vinni erő miatt.
Figyelj! Söpör! Söpör! Végig, most már végig kell! Végig! Ho! 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 Ho!
Az erő jó.
Figyelj, söpör! Söpör! Söpör!
And he's looking, it looks like he's going to place this in a nice position.
So he was more interested in taking away that run back. I don't think the run back, though, allowed them to score.
But what else is going to allow them to score?
I think this is all they have is this in-turn draw and hope that they can hook in and somehow get closer to the pin.
Last on of the fourth end. And it's not bound to look good from the hack if you're Susanna Hajkova. Remember, she's also left-handed. She's going to need this to bend in.
Short, and the Czech Republic will go down 6-2 at the break here to Hungary. So far, it's really been all Hungary, apart from the two that the Czech Republic scored in the second end. And Susanna Hajkova and Thomas Powell will have to figure out how to turn things around at the break. 6-2 Hungary after 4 ends.
Yes, they are going to have a short break, and we're going to be back just before the second half of the game with a recap of the first half. So here we are with a recap of the first half of the game. In the first end, Hungary lying 2 and a possible draw for 3, but Zsoltkis comes up short. They will score 2 though. In the second end, it's been looking really good for Czech Republic, and finally Susanna Hajková has this backring weight to try and roll in and score 3. She will wreck on the guard. Czech Republic scores 2 right back to tie the game. And in the third end, Zsoltkis is left with this nose hit and roll in to make 3. Nose hit for 2, roll for 3. He will get the roll, and it's 2 for sure. The umpires come out with a measure and decide it will be a score of 3 for Hungary. In the fourth end, some unfortunate breaks for Czech Republic. Susanna Hajková is left with a pretty much impossible draw for 3. She'll be short. Hungary steals 1. They have a 6-2 lead going into the break. 4 ends to go of this semi-final game at the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship.
Yeah, Hungary out to a commanding lead here. Although commanding in mixed doubles is not really appropriate usually, because we've seen leads switch back and forth quite a bit, and we've seen teams able to carve into big leads fairly quickly. 3s and 4s are available. Zsoltkis working hard on this one, I think, to get it by the guard and maintain the line on the stone, just biting the back of the button. So that was sweeping all for line there.
Yeah, Zsoltkis for the second time goes for the tap back rather than the freeze. I'm not sure it was the call, but the results have been working in their favor.
Susanna Hajková to start the second half of this game for the Czech Republic. She throws 1 and 5 for her team. Her teammate Thomas Powell throws 2, 3, 4. Hungary goes the opposite way. Most ends they have their male player Zsoltkis throwing the 1st and 5th stones, and their female player Dorotea Planchka throwing the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stones.
And it's not looking bad for Czech Republic. Some separation. I mean, Hungary can play a good freeze here, but if they don't make this perfect, Czech Republic will have a chance to keep spreading their stones around, maybe create a multiple score.
They have opened up the scoring area a bit already here with the rock in the top 4 foot. Palenchkas. Stone's going to move this back.
They are sitting 2.
And we certainly think that having your stones in the back is a disadvantage, but when you have last rock, they, like the Czech Republic does here, even though they're in the back, there's a chance for them to move the play. As you see Susanna Hajková playing a hit and roll here, there's a chance for them to move the play to the wings instead of all in the center.
Yeah, I think having stones in the back when there is separation around the 4 foot is maybe not the end of the world.
And there's still an opportunity for them to have them come into play as counters, and we've seen that this week. I think the key thing here is to make sure they roll their shooter ideally over fully into the 8 foot on the right-hand side and force Hungary to make a decision on whether they play aggressively and come around and try to bury one, or do they hit one of the open stones? This looks like quite a bit of weight. Coming down now, though.
I don't think they're going for the roll out. Keeps all red in play, creates a pocket back 4 foot, but drawing the play into the middle rather than out to the wings.
It's certainly more comfortable for Hungary now. They can make this draw knowing even though their stones are at the back, they're lying 2. Not really in a position that a double is an option yet. So the Czech Republic stones at the back of the rings really aren't a concern for them. A lot more comfortable throwing this shot when you're lying 2 than when the other team is lying either 2-3 or 1-2. Von Hay, I'm going to say, means room. Starting to curl now. They want it. Oh, they don't want it. They lost it a little bit. Want to make sure they got by that red.
They are sitting 3, but with that little roll out, what can Thomas Powell do?
He's looking at either playing the red stone he just threw for hit with on his last, or running this yellow back. I'd like to see. I like this play. Run the yellow in. Move some of those around. Probably jam one on your own back reds, but at this point that's not really an issue.
They'll want to make sure they at least score 2.
Deep breath.
Close to the guard.
Save the ones at the back and leave his shooter in a good position.
I mean, even if Hungary they're still sitting 2, but they
precarious
gotta start
2.
thinking about the kind of trouble they could be left in.
Yeah, it's a precarious 2 at the back 4 foot, not lined up on the 2 reds in the back 8 and back 12 that belong to the Czech Republic. So there is certainly an opportunity here for the Czech Republic to make some good things happen. It's a difficult shot because they can't move the guard at all. Are they just guarding? They can't guard both shots.
Well, my Hungarian is very limited.
It's probably better than mine. I think they're making a play on this red, but they have to get tight to the guard and then try to get to the inside of it, or at least to the nose. They cannot afford to move that guard.
Starting to curl now. Looks like they've got some good line. If they're by, they are by.
Jam it there, but still a good shot.
Yeah, she will outcount the 2 back ones with the yellow one that they tapped down.
Susanna Haikova is indicating a draw, but I think Thomas Powell is sensing down 6-2. They might have to make something more special happen, and I tend to agree with him. He's looking at the angle run on his own onto that red. Maybe get lucky and catch the other yellow in the 8 foot. And might be able to have a mitt full of reds in the rings.
I like this call, actually.
So
It's
do I.
gonna leave Hungary with some sort of possibility, but also a shot to be made under pressure.
Hits it on the high side. I think good things happen for the Czech Republic here. He's got to stay on the high side with this. And he does.
He does, and if Hungary tries to hit this red, it's going to catch on the back yellow.
So I think they're looking at the straight freeze into this pocket. Even if they just sit second shot, they'll be content with that. They certainly can freeze it in there for second shot. That will make it difficult for, if not impossible, for Czech Republic to score more than 2. Palanche's last, leaving that yellow in the top 8, was a big shot.
Yes, definitely to out-count the back ones.
Took all the back out of play. And
but Scholtkesh really wants to focus here. Make a good one.
calling for line. Calling for line with some urgency. I think it's close to that yellow, but
ooh.
Now
They will leave the draw for 3.
Draw for 3 is available. I think that's all. I don't see a shot for more than 3. So the draw for 3 for the Czech Republic, and they'll be make this, and they can close the gap to 6-5.
And we are going to have a close game again.
As we have so often seen this week, Sarah, a team gets a lead, and it's difficult to protect a lead in mixed doubles.
There is a gap. Susanna Haikova, she's going to need to find it with the last stone of the 5th end. A draw to score 3.
She's made a lot of these draws all week.
She's got a little bit of backing. She could roll in off the yellow. Important to communicate on this one.
Weight is all there, I think, so they're gonna should be fine.
Yes, Czech Republic scores 3. The high fives are back. They're gonna make the game a close one. There you see the score will be 5-6. Hungary up 1 point with Hammer in the 6th end. And over on the other sheet, Norway scored 2 in the 4th end, so they have a 2-point lead over Sweden. Sweden has Hammer and 2 stones to go. And then there is a lot of stones in play over on that sheet, so we will be updating the score later. Here you see the umpires placing the pre-positioned stones, asking the players if they're happy.
Nobody who's taking the Martin Lill route of Estonia would adjust those themselves. Usually with the considering the opponent as well.
So Czech Republic come to play in the second half of the game.
Sounds like an 8. Not so sure that awesome is an 8. I'm starting to doubt it, but we'll see. Looks like good line. Might over curl a little bit, so they're sweeping it hard to keep it on nose. Fairly good result. Better than fairly good.
Really good?
Really good. Over curling slightly, but a good opening shot. We'll see if Zsolt Kish can answer.
He wants to make it to the inside of the one just played by Haikova. Sounds like he might be close to the guard, but no.
Doesn't go by the guard of the lot of room, but they'd like to get to the inside of this red a little bit. That's certainly a good shot.
You won't mind getting rid of the backing.
Springs the place stone to the back, leaves there as a second shot in front of the red Czech Republic stone. A lot of ice here, as you can see. The ice is really moving. Thomas Paul with his first, his team's second of this end.
Yeah, he's aiming outside the house. Oh,
They've tightened it up a bit after you
Yes.
said that.
Si táčím, co? 4, 3, já to vidím, no. Já můžu, jestli chceš.
Now he's starting to work on this. Want to wait for it to curl. Can always expect these stones to curl, though.
he's by the guard.
Hope to get to the inside and improve the angles well.
Je takový na odstřel chudáček tady.
Not the greatest angles for the Czech Republic now.
Oh, sitting shot and third, but without backing.
And Hungary will look to run their red, run the
I think they're just going to clip the guard, actually.
run, get rid of the center line guard. It's not theirs. So I was tongue-tied there for a moment.
It happens to me too.
You're Swedish working in English, which is impressive, Sarah.
Thank you, I do try. And Dorocia Palanska, she is going to try to peel the guard. Looks like they might want to do it on the other side. And that'll work too.
Crossed over. Palancia with the Hungarian socks.
Jo, určitě.
But I think you're going to start wearing Swedish colors of those, right, Sarah?
How do you know that I'm not already?
Good call. Perhaps you are.
And Czech Republic, they're spicing it up with some colorful shoelaces instead.
They are, the neon shoelaces. Looks like they're a little long, Thomas Poles. I might want to trim those up if I was him.
Jsem delší.
I'll suggest that later. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to hear that. They've been working for him, those shoelaces, all week, especially in the latter half of this week. Of the week, this team has really started to play well.
Gordon Fries.
Oh, they don't want to.
Ale
Do that.
Exactly. The corner wouldn't have been bad, but not great. Corner on the yellow would have been okay, but to bounce off like that.
You know, and right now, I think Hungary wants to look at this as just a normal game of curling. All shots are allowed to be played, and they are one up with hammer in the sixth end.
They could make this double if they hit it right in the center and clip their own yellow just a bit.
And that would be a really good outcome for them. Remember, they have one stone just back 8-12 foot as well, and if they could get the reds moving, that could come into count for them.
Early call for sweeping now off. Right off now. They might have been playing it that way.
Well, they're sitting shot third and I believe fourth at the moment, or maybe just
They might not be fourth shot, but it's close. Let's see, stone back there. And it will be difficult for Thomas Powell to play something here that doesn't leave them a double.
každopádně, když zůstaneme tady, tak on hraje.
Jolt Kish is going to have a look at those two stones in the 8 foot.
I'm sure he would like to know.
Já bych klidně zahrál jenom stay.
We could update over in Norway, Sweden, what happened in the 5th end. There was a lot of rocks in play, but
Jo, ale
in the end,
ty dva kameny budou
looks as though Sweden got one.
So they are trailing Norway 5 shots to 4.
Ale jakmile přijede
Norway
sem,
with
tak
hammer
hodí
in the
stay.
6th end.
Sem, tak hodí roll sem. No, když hodím akorát stay, tak musím tam i ten zadní. Nebo jako můžem zahrát tohle. Okay.
So Powell could make the double here, or he could play the roll.
Gonna play the roll. Might get the back one. We would need to throw some weight to do that, probably. By the look of the ice, I don't think they're gonna play too much weight and just go for the roll. That will leave a double right back. They have been really good with hitting and rolling, this Czech team. I think I've seen them make more perfect roll than any other team out there.
They have indeed. Got to get by their own, though. And they're going to roll too far. Fortunate they didn't clip their own red and make sure that that one was out counted by the yellow counter at the back.
I think the best shot right now for Hungary is to just hit that and roll to the right, create some separation, sit 2.
Roll to their right, to the left as we look at it.
I'd kind of like to see them roll to the right. Keep their one in the back, not jam anything on there.
Oh yeah, sure, they could, yeah.
And just sit 2 in the 8-foot.
A little worried if they roll too far to the right, though, they'll jam this one on their own on the side, won't they?
Ez nagyon éles szög.
Are we looking at this? I would like them to roll to the left as we see it right now.
All right.
Nem, lesz jam.
What's your call?
Nem, vagy biztosan nem.
Nem. Ugyanazt
I think
kell dobni,
nose
mint
is
az előbb.
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think if they nose it, it's not an easy double. I mean, there's certainly a double there, but and then they would have an open hit. Even if the double's made, I think they'll have an open hit for 2.
Let's see what Palancha is going to do.
Powell needs a lozenge. Not only does he need more points on the board, he needs a Halls. Here comes Palanchka with her last. Her team's second to last.
Trying to roll the other way, and that's unfortunate. I wonder who's shot.
Your call, by the way, was right. I was
Yes!
momentarily confused. Now it does look like very close for all of these.
Czech Republic would love to know that they are sitting 1 at the moment. They could just get another one in there, allow Hungary to score only 1.
Yeah, they could basically split the rings and force Hungary to take one.
Já vím, ale tak zahrajem freeze sem.
I don't mind freezing the back one. They could nose hit it too.
Freeze is a good call. It's I think that's what they're playing. They make this freeze perfectly. Then the question of who is shot out of those 3 doesn't really matter.
Susanna Haikova sensing that she might be back in the game,
Směr fajn.
playing the freeze to the back yellow.
Jestli 6 můžeš, budu přetáčet, jo. Je menší.
This rock is curling. Not a lot of rotation. I don't think she's going to hold the line well enough for the freeze. But they will split the rings. And then it will be a question of whether or not
Real good shot.
Mindegy, az biztos ki kell ütni az egyért.
Joel Kish could play this crosshouse double. It's flat, but
It's, yeah, well, that would be a brave call. I think if they just look at the scoreboard, even if they take one, they'll have a 2-point lead. Scoring in the 6th end might be a good idea,
yes, scoring in 6 is certainly a good idea.
rather than risking giving a steal to Czech Republic.
I believe he is hitting.
So nose hit, and then we're going to find out. I'm so eager of finding out.
The measure will come out, I'm sure.
Last one of the sixth end, a nose hit for Żołtkiewicz to at least score 1.
Well, we will certainly see a measure now.
Tomas Paul is quick to call it.
Jolt is going to stare over that one.
All three or just these two?
Does that mean that the yellow is counting or that is gone?
Right. We're not sure yet if this is a measure for 1 or 2 or a steal of 1. So Żołtkiewicz, I think, got that one started a bit, tipped it. His out turn. Here comes the measure.
And it looks yellow. Or?
Yellow. Yeah.
So now 1 or 2. Let's
We'll
see what
see.
the umpires put on the board.
Dobrý, dáme.
A végén úgyis megkerülhet a saját. Ha egy ezt világít.
1 yellow.
1.
1 after all that.
Hungarians will take a 2-point lead going into the 7th end.
So they do manage to secure a single point in the decisive 6th end. It's a big point. Just as in traditional curling, the 6th or the 8th end in 10-end games. Important to score in a close game. So we'll see how Hungary plays this.
How would you like to see them play this?
Well, I mean, you can't. The Czech Republic can't look for a blank because blanks don't retain the hammer of the blank, and they are down 2 anyway. So I think the Czech Republic just has to play offense, actually. And if they have an opportunity to hit to ensure they limit the damage to no more than 2, I think they should take that opportunity.
Are you talking about Hungary?
Hungary, yes.
All right, I'm with you then. Well, the first stone is going to be an offensive call. They don't really have a choice. And it looks like it's going to be a good one if they can keep the line here.
Żołtkiewicz with a good opener. Over curls just a slight bit.
Will sit perfectly frozen for weight, though. Żołtkiewicz has been 77%, which we would say is a good score if you're playing mixed doubles.
I'd say those are good numbers for the for a tournament, entire tournament of mixed doubles. I think you add 10 or take 10 or 15% off. Good numbers from traditional curling and mixed doubles. So 75 and above to me is some good play in mixed doubles.
Calling this awesome.
So she bounces off a bit, leaving Hungary with an opportunity to freeze into that pocket. Yeah, there are really 2 ways they can limit the scoring here. They can look for a hit that limits the Czech Republic to only 2, or they can continue to close down the scoring area. We've certainly seen that strategy work well. Just continue to close down the scoring area and force the other team to score multiple points around the button or in the forefoot. A little surprised they're not playing the intern here.
What do you think they would accomplish by playing the intern?
Well, it just seems a more natural way to get to the red stone.
Dorocha Palancha, she's got big numbers too, 77%.
Those are good numbers, and she has the
a bigger sample.
A bigger sample size because she plays 2, 3, 4. That one isn't going to help her percentages that much.
No, maybe we're going to see them start hitting on their next.
They may not have a good hit, though, unfortunately, although perhaps that red will be exposed.
And after a measure in the other game, Sweden stole one, so the score there will be 5-5. Norway with hammer in the 7th end.
Norway, in the quarterfinal game last night, upset defending champion Switzerland. And we saw Sweden defeat Scotland.
Yes, and also quite a convincing win.
It was.
Thomas Powell, 79%. I'm not surprised that we see these teams in the semifinals. They're all with good numbers.
Just like in traditional curling, the teams with the higher percentages are usually in the mix at the end of the week.
Oh yeah, you make shots, you win games. That's true even in mixed doubles.
Wow.
It's just a big cluster right there in the forefoot.
Very good roll. And rewarded with a vigorous high five.
Now the smiles are back in the Czech team. And it's not bound to look very good for Dorocha sitting in the hack.
Now they are in this position where they're trying to freeze their way to limiting the Czech from a multiple point end. Gonna move something here though.
It leaves Czech Republic sitting 2. She rolled out a bit.
Did rearrange it, but yeah, if the Czech Republic can get to the inside and push the yellow stone that's just on the tee line back, they keep the hopes of a 3 or a 4 alive. The way these stones finish, you can certainly get to the inside. I think it's important to leave a shooter lined up right behind that guard and not leave the Hungarians with any sort of natural freeze.
So he will have the weight to tap it. Now it's up to Susanna to make the calls for line.
He's got maybe a little more weight than he wanted. It's back line he was looking for, and he's back line plus.
Oh, and that just leaves the pin for Hungary.
Yes, and really leaves them a pile of rocks to freeze into. That's why it was so important to get to the inside of that. Leave the shooter right behind the, not move the red stone that was on the button. Susanna Heikova shaking her head a bit, knowing that that result will make it difficult for her.
Important shot for Dorocha Palanska right here. 17 years old in the semi-finals of a world championship. And
handling it well so far.
She sure is.
Helping her team out to a 6-5 lead, throwing 2-3-4.
And this is gonna create trouble for Czech Republic all day. They're now sitting 1.
The Czech Republic left Hungary and out here, and Hungary took advantage of it. I think their best play here is to
Posunout tenhle, že jo? Jak jsem skončil. Takže pak máme jak šanci dostat ven.
well, I don't know. I'm not sure what their best play is. With the Czech Republic has 2 stones to play. Hungary has 1. It's 2 shots at least to get rid of the yellow that Dorotea Planchka just placed in there.
I think right now they just got to forget about multiple scoring. They need to make sure that they can get in there to score 1. It's certainly possible to steal in this game, maybe even easier than in traditional curling with the no hitting rule.
So you're going to try this slash, get those 2 reds, 2 yellow stones on the right moving.
Jo, jo, přesně to myslím.
They could also try to hit a smaller piece of it and get some action on the rock on the button. It would still be shot when they're done, but maybe free up some space there.
Devět. Devět.
Well, they have left some opportunity here for themselves.
You see the replay there, gets both yellow moving. There are a lot of red stones in the rings, although yellow shot at the moment.
Shot at the moment and difficult to move, and Jolt Kish has a shot here to make it even more difficult. He could just lock another one on.
Well, if you lock it on, you just need to be really... Like, if they ever rubbed off the top coming in over curling and roll out, they could actually just leave Czech Republic and out with a double.
Leave a double for,
Már nem tudom, 2 maybe. Na, dobjuk
I
ide.
think would be for 2 actually.
Dobjuk ide, jó?
Ide?
Dobjuk
Possibly,
csak-
no,
csak a
3 I
hosszabbra,
guess.
jó? Hát ha kicsi kocc és beáll el
Jó.
mellé, az is jó.
Oké.
Jó?
Jég.
All the discussion was in the ring, so I don't think they're throwing the straight guard.
Vypas szűk is volt.
They could just guard.
Yeah, they could. There's not really any way for Czech Republic to remove the yellow stone from the other side. Could maybe get it moving enough to score 1, but it's certainly difficult.
Söpörtük! Várj, várj! Söpör! Söpör! 9! 9! Várj!
Calling T-line.
Hó! Söpör! Söpör!
Can't roll off the red, but looks like he's fine for that.
Well, I can't see how the Czech scores more than 1 here.
No, they do have a shot to score 1. If they can follow Zsoltkesh maybe and tap that yellow, it's well, it's certainly not easy because they can't really roll either.
The slash doesn't do it. They're looking at it.
Jenom drona 1 i... Tohle? Jako reálně tenhle by se mohl odrolovat od tohohle nahoru.
Counts as a less than enviable situation here for the Czech Republic.
To jo, ale tady stojí dvojka, musí něco zahrát.
If they hit the back, the one that
Ten
Zsoltkesh
co nejvíc.
just threw, they squeeze that out and maybe
Jak chceš?
push the other one over. They're going for the other side.
Kolik hraješ? Třeba on fakt líznou.
Slash for Zuzana Haikova.
I don't see how they score with this shot, but it's maybe the one they feel best about.
Just not playing a ton of weight. It is the last stone of the 7th end. A big whoa from Tomas Powell, but then he's out to sweep.
And now he's on it. And there's the result. It's at least one for Hungary, possibly two. I think just one. So Hungary will take an 8-5 lead into the final end of play, final end of regulation play here at the World Mixed Doubles Championship.
We have seen teams score 3 in the final end before. This time it's Czech Republic with the big task of trying to achieve that.
And the way steals can happen in mixed doubles, if the Czech Republic were able to force an extra end, steal is certainly possible. Good luck, a good luck high five or mid five from the Hungarians.
We're 3 up, looking good at making the finals.
Honnan dobtuk, nem?
Igen.
Ő egy picit átfordult, mi megfordtuk, talán az volt.
Igen.
Picit beljebb. Lesz rajta a körm, picit beljebb.
Kish has been really good with these down the stretch here, made a lot of them.
Söpön! Söpön! Várj! Várj!
He has made a lot of them, and at the same time, Sweden is going to steal one in the 7th end again against Norway. They're going to have a 6-5 lead, and Norway is going to have the hammer in the final end over there. Some good weight by Zsoltkes.
Yeah, may have overswept it just a tiny bit, but nice if it curled up and died just a little bit earlier, but it's certainly a good start. Zuzana Haikova has faced some tough shots in this game.
Yep.
It's going to start to wear a player down when everything you're facing is tough.
Yeah, that previous shot was really difficult, and she made it. It
Right.
just wasn't there, and that's definitely something that can tear you down.
Discouraging to be throwing shots, you're right, and executing them, but making shots that don't produce anything. Really tight to that guard.
Kettő, három!
Would have liked to have stayed a little bit more on the other side of that yellow stone.
I remember I said Harum I thought was 3. So are Hungary going to guard their way out of this now?
They may be. We saw them play early in the week. They played a very traditional final end of curling when they had last rock. They played a tick on their very first one and tried to keep it open, a tick, and then tried to peel it out. They don't have last rock here, so it's a slightly different scenario, of course.
No, so they are going to guard.
Igen.
Maybe they're coming all the way down, but I think it's just a guard.
Kettő, egy, kettő.
And it's an effective guard.
I'm just wondering if Czech Republic can come down on the outturn side. They could maybe even tap the yellow out a bit.
They might be able to move that yellow. Push it at least to the back 4. Start to bring a 3 into play. Thomas Powell working hard on this one again. Needs to stay on the high side.
Got some good line.
Really good line, actually. It's going to free it up a bit. It's a good shot.
I wonder how open he rolled.
Yeah, I think he's open enough that Hungary could make a play a hit on it, but I don't know if that's their first thought.
Look at this really nice line. Gets a little bit of action on that. And it's still looking tough for them.
You can tell from the Susanna Haikova's eye roll that it's still not a promising situation for the Czech Republic. Zsolt Kish and Dorothea Palanska trying to be the second Hungarian team to make it to the World Mixed Doubles Final. 2009, Hungary earned the silver medal.
With Ildi Shekeres and Georgi Nagy.
Losing the gold medal game. Line looks good again, though.
He looks really good. She needs it all the way down.
Right into the pocket.
And after that shot, how is Czech Republic going to score 3?
And I think Susanna Haikova's face reflects that.
Ty naše posunout někam úplně dopryč, co jsou úplně na nic. Asi hack spíš. Já ho mám celý schovaný.
So the Czech Republic has 3 stones left to play. Hungary has 2.
Na komoru, abychom posunuli ty naše někam dozadu. Nebo co nejvíc ke komoře. No, 11.
They'll need to move, I think, on this shot, at least 1 yellow stone out of the forefoot, somehow.
OK, ale nám tam přijde znova a zase nemáme co hrát. Já bych potřebuju ty červený poslat někam pryč, protože tady mám...
Both teams with plenty of time left. Czech Republic has about 4.5 minutes. Hungary has 5 minutes and 45 seconds.
So what's the call?
I am not entirely sure. I think they're going to try to hit as much of that yellow that's just biting the button as they can, and push the other yellow, free it up, and hope they have some chance to get at the yellow that's now just biting the top of the button later.
Once again, a tricky shot for Tomas Paul.
Got there. Certainly gets rid of that yellow that's in the forfeit, but the yellow is really locked right now on the rock and the button. The Hungarians are going to use their timeout here, and their coach will make his way to the ice.
Zoltán Palanja to give some good advice.
Certainly are three reds in there. That's obvious enough. But what's also obvious is the Hungarian stone on the button is a tough one to remove. I think they're going to guard.
Would you say that's a wise call?
I think so. I don't see much benefit from trying to adjust that pile of rocks there.
No, that certainly is a job for Czech Republic.
Czech Republic might be left with running in one of these yellow stones and hoping to spill that yellow stone at least open where it can be hit later. Of course, later is only
2 stones away.
2 stones away.
And the danger if they run it is that they're going to open something up and Hungary can just
hit.
So, close guard.
I don't even know how tight this guard needs to be.
No. I
needs-
just figured harum means the tight guard. But then again, that's just my interpretation.
We're gonna over curl and come behind everything here, which certainly makes those runbacks, takes those runbacks out maybe out of the equation. I think the Czech Republic is going to try a similar shot, but just try to spring that red, free that yellow up, so they might have some way to get at it with their last.
Well, yeah, they could just make sure that if they roll a little bit to the left, push the red one that's just backing the yellow down, then they could free up the yellow.
Key will be to make sure they move the red that Yellowstone's currently frozen on, move it far enough that they have a reasonable opportunity to move that yellow with their last one. Whatever the case, Susanna Haikova is going to be throwing a tough shot in her last, but at least she might have it for a chance to score multiple points.
It's not often you know if you have 3 points up in a final end, you'd feel pretty good, but it's just that's not the way it goes in mixed doubles. Oh, and
Certainly opened it up, and they have it. Unfortunately, the angle doesn't work too well with the high red in the forefoot.
no, so 1 stone left to go for each team.
Jolt Kish now debating whether his best guard is second shot or strictly a guard.
He could just hit that one too. If he hits it and rolls away, rolls out, what's left for the Czechs? They're going to need to try and get rid of that yellow in an unfortunate angle and keep everything around.
Exactly. I'm not sure the Czech Republic has much for 3 right now, so. If he played that shot, and even if he would over curl, he would sort of just bump his stone that's now in the pin angled on that other red as well. That wouldn't be all bad.
And the big shouts from the crowd as Elisabeth Nordahl for Sweden just made sure that Norway is not going to be able to score 2. They can score 1 and take that game to an extra.
A lot of discussion here about this shot. He's looking at that. If he chips it over, splits it, there's really nothing left. No double. I think this shot is fine. If he plays the freeze, that certainly works. If he comes over and chisels the yellow onto the other one and basically does a short split on those 2, I don't see how the Czech Republic can score 3 either. Susanna Haikova is back there shaking her head. I don't think she sees a shot for herself to throw.
No, and
Thomas Poole, though,
eyeing everything up.
eyeing up all the angles. For some reason, my hunch is that he's some sort of math student.
And on the other sheet, Norway scored 1. No. Handshakes. Sweden stole 1. They won that game, so they will be in the final. And we are about to find out who they're going to play. If Jolt Kish can make this, he could win the game. I'm going to say mission accomplished.
I think so. I think Susanna Haikova is looking at a double, but it's impossible to see how that double out doesn't clip her red and remove that stone. Just can't see a way to get that yellow out without a red stone leaving too. We'll look at it from every angle.
1.5 minutes left. It's gonna run yellow onto the red. No, it's not there.
I don't think it is, unless they can. Oh, they would have to. Even that's not there. I don't think they have to shave the red into the in between the two yellows and hope it misses the back red and hope for a small gremlin to come in and rearrange the rocks after it's all done. I don't see it. We're going to see her throw it though, and we'll see what happens.
There's no point in giving up the game without throwing.
No, may as well try it.
If you have the chance of a small gremlin running out, then you might as well take it.
You do have 3 stones in the rings.
Zuzana Haikova, final stone of the game, possibly for Czech Republic. Oh, really close to making at least something happen, but it will be a steal for Hungary. They win the game, moving on to the gold medal game where they will play Sweden. Czech Republic, they will play Norway for bronze. Big smiles from the Hungarian team. And
so our final game is set. Hungary versus Sweden in the final of the 2013 World Mixed Doubles Championship.
yes, that will be at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Make sure you don't miss it. See, the final line score there is Czech Republic 5, Hungary comes out on top, makes the final. They scored 10. We will be back with a recap of this game and, of course, an interview with Hungary. And of course, if you're up for even more curling, we have at 2 o'clock the senior final for the women's between Austria and Canada. That will be on the World Curling YouTube channel. So make sure you tune in for that as well. So we've got plenty of curling going on here in Fredericton at the moment. So here we are with a recap of the second half of the semi-final. In the fifth end, Zuzana Haikova, she has a draw for 3. She needs full forefoot. It's looking good. She'll find the backing of her own. Score 3, take the game closer. They're trailing 5-6. In the sixth end, Zsolt Kish, he has a nose hit right here to score 2 actually. He'll roll out and it will be a measure. But they scored 1 to take a 7-5 lead. So in the seventh end, Zuzana Haikova had this really difficult slash to try and score after a good freeze by Hungary. It wasn't even there actually, so Hungary will steal 1, take an 8-5 lead into the eighth end, where this is the final situation that Zuzana Haikova is facing. They need to score 3. It will be a steal for Hungary. They will win the game 10 shots to 5. They're going to play Sweden in the final. Handshakes there, happy Hungarians. And for now, stand by for interview with Team Hungary.
Jolt, Dorothea, a big win. You guys will be playing for the gold medal in the finals of the 2000 World Mixed Doubles Championship. How does that feel?
Oh, it's very good. I think we, in our imagine, it was never ever in our minds. So I think we are very happy now. It's amazing.
You jumped out to a big lead after the fourth end. What did you talk about at the break to keep that momentum going?
We know that the Czech team is very, very strong, so we couldn't just leave the game, because we knew that they are able to get back, and they made it. So we had to keep the momentum, and we were talking a lot that we are good, we are playing good, and we have to just keep it going, and we made it.
So your country finished second in 2009 in this event. You're playing Sweden, a tough team in the final. What do you think you have to do to improve on that 2009 result?
I think we just have to play what we were playing earlier. I think we just have to make some crucial shot, small tap backs, and just to trust in us.
So it's a big win for curling in Hungary. Is there anything you want to say to your friends and family and fans back home?
Yeah, it's a really big surprise. So I just can't believe it. We play very well, and hope in the final we will play.
You want to say anything in Hungarian?
Yeah. Köszönjük mindenkinek a szurkolást, és reméljük, hogy ez a döntőt is megnézitek majd. Bízunk benne, hogy azért most a svédeket meg tudjuk verni. Szerintem lehetséges, mert mindenki szurkol.
Köszönjük a szurkolást.
Szia, Vera!
Congratulations and good luck in the final.
Thank you.
Thank you.